Hey guys, and welcome back to AVGN Adventures 2 ASSimilation. Yes, I am going to continue saying it like that. So, yeah,
that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, so we are doing a Browntown Dookie Dookie Panic. This is.
I love how there's a sewer level called Dookie Dookie Panic.
Yeah, it's basically just one giant parody of the first TMNT game on NES. So there's
also reminds me a bit of Pump Man stage in Mega Man 10.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't thought about Mega Man 10 probably about like 2 years. So, yeah. In this level, this is one of the easier upgrades to get, but you do need to have the Power Glove to get it. It's the charge shot. So
Hold A to charge your laser.
Here's a question: can you go back into levels you've beaten after you've beaten them?
Oh yeah, it's usually the only way to get perfects. And if you replay the tutorial level, they have added dialogue where they talk about, or not only that you can replay levels, but the nerd is really annoyed that he has to listen to all this tutorial shit again. So, yeah. You can replay levels. I did that to get perfects, because it's a lot easier to get perfects if A, you have all the power-ups, and B, you're not going for nerd loaders. So, I recommend doing it that way if you're trying to get that achievement. Again, getting all perfects... Getting all perfects doesn't do anything. It just
Super Mario'd it.
Yeah, just a note to any first-time platformers: if there looks like to be a gap in the ceiling, look at it.
Yeah,
because most of the time you can go over it.
Not in the first level in the Japanese themed world. There's only one part, and that's what.
Most of the time you can go over it.
Yeah, most of the time, just not in that that level. Although they did catch it here because you cannot go over this mine.
Why the fuck are there nautical mines in a sewer?
I think this game does better than the first game is it captures the nerd's voice a little bit better, because the nerd isn't just all about saying like fuck farts and things like that. Like the what are these people eating is a very nerd thing to say. So.
Yeah, well, it helps that it doesn't seem like there's as much random generation.
Oh no, they completely dropped the random the death screen.
Yeah,
the Mad Libs.
Yeah, which I honestly I don't mind, because really all it did was make it so that you had to wait longer to restart a part of the level.
It was like Bubsy without a voice actor, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
When you put it that way, it's horrible.
But maybe that was the point.
Why are there big daddies in my sewer level?
Why are there big daddies showing off their big daddies?
Big daddies are a weird thing to reference in an AVGN game, though. I mean, like, even weirder than Bubsy. At least Bubsy's an old game, even if it's something the nerd has never done.
I'm surprised the nerd has never done Bubsy, now that I think about it. But I didn't think of big daddies at first. I thought of the guy from the SpongeBob movie. The sewer.
Oh, yeah. The AVGN. AVGN doesn't do a whole lot of 16-bit stuff, and when he does stuff of like the PlayStation or PlayStation 2 era, it's a really odd thing. Like sometimes he will, like during his Christmas special, he did that thing on the Universal Studios game, and that deserved it. But
well, we are getting to the point where PS2 games could probably be reviewed by the nerd. Like, I mean, granted, it's
been long enough, yeah, but...
Yeah, PS2 is 16 years old at this point. Oh my god, I felt really old saying that.
Yeah, but like, the nerd's thing is the 8-bit era and the Atari era.
Because those are the games that he grew up with. The nerd wasn't originally just to review shitty games, it was to review games that initially pissed him off when he was a kid.
Yeah. But, sometimes he branches out, and it's cool that he only does that so often. I like how there are mousers down here. That takes me back. That takes me back, specifically the mousers, because that was one of the earlier story arcs in the original comic book run.
Yeah, the mousers are usually pretty early on in every TMNT thing I've seen. Oh god, the only one I have any amount of connection to though is the 2003 show. And that's really only because that I'd watch an episode of it occasionally before or after Kirby on the Fox box.
The Mouser story arc is nostalgic for me because it was also the introduction of April O'Neil.
Oh, she wasn't just in the comic to begin with?
No. Like, there was the Shredder story, which was the first story, and I think the second story, after Shredder died, yeah, he died in, like, the first issue in the original comic run. It's pretty fantastic compared to him always being there now. But, like, the second story arc was Baxter Stockman creating the Mousers, and April O'Neil worked for him, so she was introduced in the second story arc.
Oh. Okay, it's just kind of weird because I'm used to April O'Neil being like one of the first characters you meet. Sometimes even before
she is one of the first characters you meet. It was just more interesting there in this case, I think.
Oh, there's a little reference here. I'm pretty sure Ted's going to show it off.
Well, you have to show it off in order to beat the game.
You know what, though? I did jump over the gap. And then it triggered the dialogue anyway.
Oh.
So I, curiosity's sake, went back and checked it out. It's like, oh, yeah, I can just walk over
here's
the gap.
the thing. I saw it, and since I knew that this was a TMNT parody, I knew that it was something that you were supposed to walk over. Yeah.
Have you guys been reading the Batman TMNT crossover?
Stardew Valley
My
modded?
thing.
Stardew Valley modded? What's that?
It's a modded version of
Stardew Valley modded. Yeah.
I don't know what he modded it for, but he modded it.
Okay. Well, Stardew Valley is awesome, and you should all play it. Like, drop this video now and go farm.
Okay.
Now.
You're the man.
Oh god, this part of the level, I died a lot. So you look at my life counter here. I died 10 times.
That looks pretty gosh damn hectic. That kind of swinging pendulum and up and down obstacle arrangement, even when it's not instant death, is usually the biggest pain in your ass in any game it appears in.
Yeah, but you know, I think that's the only reason why it makes it such a pain in the ass, because the pendulum is instant death, a death bomb, which, you know, makes a lot more sense than just a block.
Well, it is a mine.
At least the bomb explodes.
It's sections like that make this game feel the most like the first AVGN Adventures.
Bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the overabundance of death blocks. Like, one of the things I'm noticing in general with this game is that they go a lot lighter on the death blocks, and that makes the levels feel more unique overall.
Oh yeah, they did. That was in the trailer. It was like more levels, more action, less death blocks.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that. I watched that trailer the other day. I was actually thinking of buying the game and playing it before we did this commentary, but well, YouTube's being slow with that payment, so I can't afford it yet.
Yeah, it's a good game. I'd recommend it. Although, what I don't recommend is going through this level without turning off the kelp. I mean, it has to be possible, because,
Possible, but why would
I don't
you
see how it would be possible. There's kelp right across your way, and it bounces you all over the place.
Well,
when
the
you hit
kelp
it,
is...
so.
Well, here's the thing about the kelp. It doesn't always do damage. It like, kind of flashes. So,
yeah, it turns on and off, but it doesn't look like it turns off for very long.
Oh, no, it
The
doesn't.
nerdy turd.
Yeah.
This is a reference I understand.
Yeah, this is by far the easiest, because you can just jump over them. Especially if you have the Swear and Scout, because if you stand on the blocks, then you just can't get hurt. What I should be doing is charging my attacks.
You know what I want to see in the next AVGN movie, provided one ever happens? I want to see an epic crossover duel between the nerdy turd and the great mighty Pooh.
Do you think Rare would sign off on it?
There's only so much shit I can handle. Because you know what? I actually didn't like the nerdy turd.
Oh god, what video was that from?
I
don't
wanna
remember.
say it was one of the very old systems.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
it was
played-
like the Amiga, was it?
Something like that, where he played Pong. You had to use overlays to play video games or something like that on
Oh,
the
yeah.
Odyssey.
The
Was it
Odyssey.
the Odyssey?
Yeah, that would be the Odyssey. The only other thing that I can think of that uses overlays was something reviewed by the NES Punk, I think. And that one had more complex games, so... It actually looked fairly entertaining to play for the time, so...
Yeah, it's weird looking back at like 70s game consoles.
Dude, this wasn't even just a console. It had its own built-in television.
What?
Because the television itself was tall rather than long or square.
Vertical videos! No!
Yeah. You thought cell phones invented that shit? It was back in the
Vertical
70s.
video syndrome is dangerous.
It was something you were supposed to sit right in front of and play like a little miniature arcade cabinet sort of thing, with an overlay over top of the screen. So, like, I don't even remember what it was called. It's a really obscure piece of shit.
Yeah, that's like, you know, that's actually something that's really annoying. If you're playing like I would not walking into the death blocks once. Okay, fine, the dumb move.
Fool
Twice
me
in a
once,
row.
shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well now I just suck.
Well, you want to hurry because the goddamn crocodile's coming after you.
He's not instant kill though.
He isn't?
No, he's
No.
not instant kill. He just hurts.
You think he would be, but no.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh.
Yeah, most of the time you're going to be dying in this stage because you're rushing and you land face first into one of the mines.
Aesthetically,
Although-
I mean, as a level, it's challenging. Aesthetically, it's kind of bleak, and not because of the dark underwater setting, but you can't hear the music because it's muffled by the water.
Oh yeah, well that's an
Yeah.
effect that's in every level. One thing that I love about all of Browntown's music is that they, for some of the rhythm, they have fart noises. So
The biggest danger isn't hitting the bombs, it's hitting something else that knocks you into the bombs.
well, the reason why I'm dying so much is that I'm trying to get that last nerd letter, which is right up there. You can barely see it because it's being covered by the other
yeah.
nerd letter.
It's actually being covered by the other nerd letters.
Yeah, so I keep on making the same dumbass mistakes. So I would have cut it out, but then the video would have been less than 10 minutes long, and this isn't 2007, so that's not acceptable anymore.
We have to hit 10 minutes, otherwise I can't put an ad at the end of the video.
A copyright strike, right?
Yeah,
right.
copyright strike.
Right,
Good.
right.
You see, we might have lost like a month of our time, but we did get an excuse that will last forever. Battle frogs.
Starring herpes.
That is not a battle frog. That is...
It's herpes, genital warts, and gonorrhea. I think, which is I'm pretty sure are the names he gave the Battletoads.
Named after 4 great Renaissance shit posters.
No, the reasons for the Battletoad being named after, you know, gross stuff is because the Battletoads themselves were named after gross stuff. Like wart, zits, and something else.
Rash, zits.
Rash,
or
zits, and
zits and
yeah, that kind of thing. So he just took that idea and uncensored it.
Totally radical, dude. Like, for some reason, the Battletoads seem to be the property that Rare's trying to revive the most. Because, like, they gave them those totally awesome new redesigns.
Well,
and also,
you know, the Battletoads were in good games. It's just that the actual original Battletoads game was shit. So, like, there was a Double Dragon Battletoads crossover, and I remember that being pretty fun. I had that on my Genesis at one time. Unfortunately, I don't own it anymore, so...
wasn't one of the Battletoads also in Killer Instinct, the Xbone version?
Yeah.
maybe,
I
don't know,
believe so,
haven't played
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was.
So do you think they're gonna make like a full-on Battletoads? Because they're also in Shovel Knight too. So do you think that they're gonna bring like them back, Battletoads revival, or no?
Well, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with a new age Battletoads game, kind of in the vein of Double Dragon Neo, because half the problems with the original Battletoads game only exist because it's an old 2D game. Like if it was on a 3D plane, you wouldn't have half as much problem with those ramps.
Oh yeah, the depth
Or
perception
with
is
yeah,
a piece
or
of
with the
shit.
wrecking balls for that matter. Yeah, the wrecking balls wouldn't be a big of a problem either.
I do like the Master Sphincter, though, for Battletoads leader. I like that name, Master Sphincter. Which, by the way, I mean, the joke is that you can kill him easily with one shot, but he is a one-hit kill. I was curious.